Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. It is Free Energy Friday. It is November 14th, 2025. Welcome to the show. As always, we have Lulu on, we got Nathan on, and we got Mr. Philip on from Montreal. Welcome, everybody. Hope everybody had a good week. And the sun's been going a little wonky this week. Yesterday afternoon, there was an X 1.5 flare that went off. And I've seen one picture somebody took from Detroit, and really beautiful auroras going on. There was some activity today, but not like yesterday. So we're I believe nearing the end of a solar maximum. So, yeah, we're supposed to have Bernie come on. He's in Kelowna right now at I think it's a music conference or something like that. But yeah, so he'll join us soon. Live chat is open. Yeah, so actually, we don't have that many people in live chat right now. Hopefully, when's your Thanksgiving? Is it this weekend or?
I think it's the 27th, right?
27th,
28th, yeah, somewhere in there.
So
that's weekend. That's week.
Yeah, and when's Black Friday? Next Friday?
Yeah, we got about 2 weeks.
Yeah, Black Friday and then Cyber Monday.
Oh, yeah. Those are
I
coming
can't believe like Christmas is like a month away. It came way too fast. It feels like the summer just ended, and now we're like,
oh yeah, the year went by fast.
I know, it's crazy.
I remember not even a few months ago I put up the Christmas tree. Like already, like it stays, like our Christmas tree like lingers, the first like almost quarter, a little over the quarter of the year,
Yeah.
Christmas and yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. Busy week for me, working on a couple of new projects, working on the new Renegade device. I posted a couple of videos on that. And I managed to find an old video. Are you finished eating, Philip?
No, but I can't wait.
Okay. If you want, I can show this video first, and then you can do your stuff if you want.
Okay.
Okay, I found this old video of Joseph Newman. It's one of his early videos. I believe it's around 1985. Hold on, I think it's. Hold on, bear with me here for a second. Excuse me. Share screen. 1987. Okay,
nice.
To that. Can everybody see the screen okay? Can you guys see the screen already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The audio is kind of low. So each one of those batteries there is 250 volts. Those batteries specially made. So it's got two cells, so it's like almost 500 volts between the two batteries. And he's pumping 250 volts in that tiny little motor that he's got there. So it's only drawing like 4 milliamps off the battery.
Also der Input-Strom ist jetzt knapp 5 Milliampere.
Like he has a guy interviewing him, he's from Germany, so you can hear his accent.
Sind beide in Serie geschaltet. Und jetzt gehen wir gleich mal rüber zum HF, also Hochfrequenz-Stromamperemeter, was ein thermoelektrisches Messinstrument ist, was also genau anzeigt.
I'll kind of speed it up because it's a little bit long, but that's the motor there. It's only maybe about smaller than a shoebox in size. It's not very big.
You just drop your voltage down. And you slow down, so you can easily see that on
I was really noticing in the video, his contact points there, you can see my cursor. He's got one contact there and one at the bottom, but it's just one wire.
Please, can you turn
like
it
one
up?
tiny little wire.
Turn it up.
Yeah.
So basically, he's just sparking 250 volts into that coil.
And please, can you stop it now?
See
Do
the
you
little
notice
smoke?
something that the camera is reacting to the rotation of the motor? Like the whole screen
Also, hier
vibrates
sehen wir
at the
jetzt
same
den.
Yeah,
time? Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Okay. Das ist also
But
der
you
Schacht
got to
jetzt und
realize
hier ist
too,
der
this was
mechanische
1987,
Kommutator,
so they didn't. This
der
was
mit
done
den
probably
Batterien verbunden ist.
on a camcorder, right?
Yeah, but it's like getting
The old,
affected with that resonance energy,
oh yeah,
probably. Yeah.
yeah.
You
See,
know,
he's literally got one
Hier
wire
drin
as the
ist jetzt
commutator.
die Spule gewickelt.
So he's got 250
Das ist
volts
praktisch
going
eine
into that
Spule
tiny
und
little
auf
motor,
dem
and
Schaft
it takes like
der Welle
almost no
sitzt
current.
jetzt ein
So
länglicher
basically,
Magnet,
this is the same concept
äh,
what I'm using in the Renegade,
der
no
halt
different.
die Schaft antreibt.
And he's using a lot more voltage
Hier
than
sehen
I
wir
was.
nochmal den Motor von der
So
Seite.
when you
Die
use a
ganzen
high
Windungen sind
spike of a voltage into a very large inductor,
in
you
dieser
get a
Richtung
lot of
gewickelt.
torque. So
Praktisch
the
nur eine
magnets
Spule.
he's using are really powerful
Und and
N52s.
how is it?
He showed the
Every
magnets
180
later on in
degrees
the
of
video,
the
and they're extremely
shaft
strong.
rotation, the
So
current is
because of the
switched the other way.
magnetic
Yeah.
field he's creating is
Weil
so
der Strom
big,
ist jeweils nach 180
250 volts going in a
Grad
coil
immer
that size
wird der
is going to make a
umgedreht in der Spule durch
massive
den mechanischen Kommutator.
electromagnetic field. And as a result of that, he's getting tremendous amount of torque out of the motor. So like pulse
These are
motors,
neodymium
Bandini
magnets
motor
inside here,
and
so
all
it's
those
very
other
strong.
motors,
Ah ja.
they're really
Also er
not
sagt gerade,
known
dass da
for
drin
much torque. They're
Neodym-Magneten
actually,
vorhanden sind.
they don't have that much power at all.
Charakter.
But his motor actually has
Er
torque.
hat das mal
It can actually
aufgemalt.
do physical work, right?
Hier sind also alles Nordpole
I'm
auf
just
der
gonna
einen Seite.
kind of fast track it through. He's got this other one here running a fan. Not sure how many volts he's got going through this one. Yeah, there's his commutator, and it's only like single wires. Like he doesn't even have like a proper brush. That's one of his bigger motors that he made. Like the amount of copper this guy has in these devices is enormous. Like the costs involved now to have what he had back then would be enormous.
Ja, diese Einheit ist jetzt hier im Augenblick.
Like look at the size of it. That thing's like 6 feet in diameter.
Das ist jetzt hier die große Einheit von Herrn.
Is that a giant coil?
Well, in the middle here, that's the magnets, and the round part, that's the coil. So that's 6 feet in diameter and about 4 feet tall. And that's all copper windings all the way around. He's got probably about, in today's numbers, I would say about $30,000, maybe $40,000 worth of copper windings in there.
I have a question. Like, how long is one continuous copper line could get to? You know, like
whatever you order. I would imagine he got many different sources of copper and had to attach them.
Yeah, this is what I'm
because-
saying. Yeah, this is what I'm asking. Like,
Because like when you're getting to a scale this big, 6 feet in diameter and about 4 feet tall, you're talking some major amount of materials, right? His big Eureka, that thing weighed, from what I remember, it was 4,000 pounds. So he's using enormous amounts of copper windings. Now, this last part I want to show you. This is not his motor, but we were talking about this a while ago. Just kind of scaling through here. Okay, here it is. He made an anti-gravity device. So what he's got is a helium balloon that's not totally filled. All right. See the windings he's got around it? So when he starts pumping electricity through those windings, this lifts off the ground. It actually creates an anti-gravity effect. So he's using the magnetic field to disturb all the helium, atoms
How
inside
much
that
water do
balloon.
you use
It
for getting it up
expands
and
and
down?
it keeps expanding, and then it creates
Only one
buoyancy,
of
Kind of
and
varies,
it's able to
250
get
to
off the
500
ground.
volts.
It changes the pressure.
It changes the pressure when he starts creating the
And
magnetic field.
how
He's
fast
got
does it
windings
lift
all the way
and
across here,
Oh, it runs up, takes about
and he pulses it with 500
seconds.
volts,
to
and
once
that
it starts
disturbs all the
It'll come
ions
down
inside,
as soon
the
as it
helium
gets ready.
ions,
yeah?
and
So it starts
expands and creates
inflating. You
buoyancy,
look it
and
up,
then the
yeah.
thing will lift off the ground.
And clearly showing you that it's relative to the magnetic field.
So in practical
You don't have to use any
application, he
ballast.
doesn't
You
need
don't
a
have to blow anything
ballast.
off for it to lift.
All he has
Once
to
it's
do
up,
is
you don't have
change
to
the
let out any
frequency
gas,
of
or
the
you don't have to pull up any
magnetic
weight.
field.
It's all done electromagnetically. And it's like Dr. Hastings says, you could build a device 100 feet in
That's him
diameter
there
that's over
back in
50
the
tons.
80s.
1,000
Changing
about the
the
same.
frequency of the magnetic field, you mean by using an AC
Yeah.
current?
right now, and it gives
Pulse
you a very
DC.
roomy environment.
Oh,
Like I'm
okay.
on
500 volts.
Okay.
a device 1,000 miles in diameter built in outer space, and you can put a whole world in it.
So
Rivers and
at
running
this
water and
time, he was
trees.
fighting the U.S. government
Total
for
control
the
of the
patent for
environment, and
the
it'll make
big
space travel
Eureka.
become a reality in a majestic, beautiful
Did
atmosphere.
he got killed or something like that?
No, he died of old age,
No.
but he never got his patent.
No.
They would never grant it. Like, look
Wouldn't
at all
you
these
think,
batteries.
wouldn't you think with the modern AI, it could, like timestamp any
Running water and trees,
recording and give it the
total control of the
proper
environment, it'll make space travel become a reality in a majestic,
patent,
beautiful
of rights?
atmosphere.
Because
Build it
if,
even more
like on
beautiful than what the
digital
world is,
mediums, if it could authenticate
and
the
that's where the
type of
technology
invention
will
on
take it
video,
to
because
great.
these are all time stamped. There's a digital code to these. And if there's a smart AI system that can, like gather this information about these topics, and then it should, in theory, give it the proper accreditation and patents on who was really at first before somebody
See,
stole it
back
from
then,
somebody.
like the thing is, he took his case higher than the federal patent office. He took it to the Supreme Court. There's actually a whole movie they did on it, and he spent hundreds of thousands of dollars fighting the government. He actually got some of the engineers on camera to admit that his system did put out more power than what it took to run it, and they still wouldn't grant him the patent. The patent office says, "Sorry, we're just not going to grant you this patent because it's too disruptive." They wouldn't patent. That's where, to patent a device like this is completely worthless. It is completely wasting your time, your money, all that stuff. They just won't allow it. The system is rigged in the U.S. Completely rigged. So, but these are some of the old videos I kind of been digging up. There's a couple other videos. I'm finding there's a lot of really cool devices that Russians have put out. And actually, I think I posted on our message board. One of them was um, the atmospheric harvesting device, and they used to have these devices in high schools, and they were teaching this in science class back in probably it was 1950s. Well, too loud, Bernie.
Huh? What?
Bernie,
Sorry?
music.
What? What's too loud? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the rave is too loud.
Yeah, man, you're killing us with the sound.
I can't hear a thing.
I'm outside. Like, there's no sound at all. I'm confused.
Holy man, I heard dance music just blaring.
I
What?
didn't hear a thing.
I didn't hear anything either.
I didn't hear anything.
I'm hearing music. Oh, hold on.
No, that's coming from Toronto, my man. I'm out on a farm.
All right, I know what happened. My bad. All
Ah,
right, my bad.
well,
It was
now that I'm
me.
here. It was you. It was you all along, Mike. What are you trying to blame me for here?
No, because when you logged in, when the sound just turned on, it was like we
Gotta
thought
love
it
those
came from
things.
your feed.
That
My
makes sense.
apologies.
Well, I'm sorry for causing music in Toronto. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm just walking up to get a extension cord so I can plug in my computer so I can actually join from my nice little mobile trailer that I'm
So how
staying in
long?
out in the
You're
Okanagan.
in Kelowna, right?
Yes, sir. So before I go to California, I made a stopover in Kelowna, as we like to call Kelowna. And yeah, I'm be out here for about a week or so. I think I'm just getting everything figured out, and I will be moving forward with bringing my silk screening and print shop out to Kelowna in the I guess February once I'm back from California. Just getting everything lined up so I can actually be printing shirts and have a place to start doing drop shipping so I can actually do merch for anybody and also print it and sell it online.
Right on. That's cool. So what are you going to do out in California?
Well, in California, I've got many, many plans, one of which with the lovely gentleman right below you. And we're going to be doing some, I guess, third or fifth or eighth generation experiments. I don't know what number you'd call them because, well, like Nathan's already on like fourth or fifth, and I'm already on fourth or fifth. And then we're going to combine them. So we might actually be opening up some sort of portals or wormholes by the end of it. Definitely.
One thing that is nice in California is when you order from Amazon, it takes at most a day, whereas in Canada, it takes a week or two or something like that.
Yeah, well,
Right?
in
Oh,
Toronto, we get it within 2 to 3 days.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
in
in Canada, I
California,
think
it's like
it's
half a
in
day.
Winnipeg. I think the distribution center is Winnipeg. So it's like if you live in, that's the one benefit of living in Winterpeg. You get
Yeah.
Amazon in a day in Canada. Other than
Uh,
that, not so
Well, we have a
much.
lot of Amazon storage facilities here, like huge, massive. I'm talking like 2, 3 million square feet. You know, these massive friggin' storage facilities. There's three of them that I know of that are like less than 20 minutes away from me. So
Yeah,
they're
we got a
yeah,
bunch of
here.
distribution centers in Calgary too. It's crazy how much shit gets shipped by them. And it's
Oh,
like,
and the size of these factories are just enormous. Like, holy cow, they're freaking
it's
huge.
impressive all the junk that they have. You know, the little stuff that nobody ever buys except me. They have it. They have all that stuff on Amazon. You know.
and that's why they need those warehouses. They have like 10 of everything for whatever you could possibly need ever.
Here,
Yeah.
like in Houston or in Texas or in my area, within hours, there's some items that like they could deliver it within hours. Like,
Yeah, that's just
yeah,
crazy.
Nice.
not
Yeah,
even a
like
day.
I know like they get like a lot of return items. So now we're seeing these little warehouses pop up where all the old Amazon return items go to these guys and then they try to sell it for whatever they can get it for.
Ooh,
Item would
discount
have flood to
Amazon.
the
I
bag.
need to get me hands on that.
Yeah.
So absolute shame I didn't get out here a couple days sooner because in Calgary it was cloudy during the solar storms, but apparently the property I'm on right now, it was just insane auroras for the past couple days.
Yeah.
So if
Detroit
the
had seen
storms
it.
happen again, I will get a very good shot for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it's been overcast like almost all week. We saw a
Yeah,
little bit of the sun today, but yeah, nothing. What good is it during the day, right? When we get clear weather, and
exactly.
then nighttime it just gets overcast, and then you can't see any freaking stars at all, right?
All
So
right, sorry, I'll be back in 10 minutes probably and be on my computer.
yeah, okay,
It's very clear skies here when like the colors are so crisp in the south. Like you have like everything is vibrating at a vibrant reflection of the, whatever energy is being pumped into the ionosphere.
yeah.
You know?
The only nice colors we're seeing are the leaves on the maple leaf trees right now. They're gorgeous, really beautiful colors. But that's about all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any stars at all.
I see stars all the time, man. Every night.
Every
I
night.
see nothing. I live in a building, an apartment complex, so I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I live in an apartment complex too, but we have like really big windows, So, but still, if it's cloudy out, you're kind of shit out of luck.
Yeah, I got big windows too, but I see a brick wall in front of me.
But you guys do, you guys do have houses that are like, you know,
Oh yeah,
okay,
oh
all
yeah.
right. It's not like,
Oh, she thought you were living in, you know, the wooden houses again, still in Canada.
no, I
Oh,
mean,
the
I
log
went to
house.
I mean, I did go to Montreal, and you know, everybody that I knew there or visited, they all lived in buildings, but I didn't get the
Yeah.
chance to see like a house, you know?
No, the
Like,
houses
so,
are like I was in a house in California, one of our relatives' house. They're pretty comparable to what we have here, but ours are a lot stronger on the outside as far as brick construction, and also too because we get a lot of snow. Our roofs have to be extremely strong.
do you guys have basements?
Yeah, we have basements here.
Okay.
Yeah, there's none in California. Are there basements in Texas?
No, we don't
No,
have
I
basements
don't
Okay.
here.
think so.
No.
Yeah. See, we have basements here. They're all basically, you know, concrete tombs. They're all concrete. They're all concrete, right? The floors, the walls, and everything, all
Mm.
concrete.
See,
So,
I lived in Milwaukee, Wisconsin for like 3.5 years, and yeah, we did have a basement. So
yeah.
yeah, I think it's either the cold weather that makes them have the homes basements, or if it's tornadoes, if they have tornadoes, it would make
No,
sense
it's
Well,
to
because
have it.
the water flood. The water flood.
yeah, it's
You know,
like I know in the area where we live, any house that has a basement has to have a sub pump because where the land is, where my town is, it was all flat farmland. You know,
mm.
back in the 1800s, it was all farmland here. They had actually where I live. It used to be known for wood processing. It was a giant mill, right?
Mm.
So any house that's in my hometown, they have sub pumps because
Did
of
you
all the
know that
runoff.
Elon Musk now sells houses for $8,000, and
I
they
saw
they're
that.
all electric and solar powered and everything, and you don't pay property tax or anything like that. That's pretty cool.
You still have to
Yeah,
pay property tax on the
but
land.
but you didn't hear they have a big recall at Tesla right now. Their Powerwall, they're all catching on fire.
Oh
Yeah, they just
yeah.
recalled like 10,000 units.
Oh no.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, they're
you
catching on
didn't
fire. They're
test
over.
that before?
Well, it's the lithium-ion battery. They're having the same
Oh
problem
yeah,
that they had in the cell phones.
yeah. The Tesla cars.
Yeah, they're having thermal runaway. We had about, I would say, at least five that I know of last summer Tesla cars that blew up here because
Oh
of the heat.
wow.
Yeah, because of the heat. They couldn't take the heat.
Hmm.
Yeah, they were catching on fire. Boom.
You
Yeah,
guys,
it makes no sense to buy that stuff here.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
there's a lot of Tesla cars here in Toronto, but I'm starting to see a lot of other brand names coming out, not just Tesla, you know, Hyundai, Toyota, Honda. They're all making like really good EVs. Even Volkswagen, they got a couple of really good EVs. So like the market is starting to get more even playground, right? A lot of people are starting to avoid the Tesla cars now.
yeah, I like. I'm happy Elon Musk is rich and all that, but I mean, I guess he's a little bit too greedy, and that's kind of it's kind of annoying that that means sometimes he sacrifices the quality of his products to
Yeah,
make a little bit more profit.
well, you know, Bitcoin, he bought like 48% of Bitcoin or something like that. Like a huge, we're talking about a huge amount of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Well, that is information, that's documents, that's certain, like, you know, records of papers, of patents. That is data, that's information. If he's got like single-handedly like 48% of that derivative of, whatever transaction, communication, part of whatever, that is. Like he's holding information from the internet, from the world, you know?
I
You
mean,
understand?
he bought the equivalent of 40% of the world's information.
I think even more, yes. And it's just sitting in, in memory banks and servers, and that's it, but it's not connected anymore to the world. So it means the trying to extract that lost information is gone. That, part of the whole.
Even the information that is encrypted, it can be we'll be able to decrypt it in 2 years with the quantum computers. You know, so everything that is said on the internet and stored and archived will be decrypted in 2 years from now. So that's that's gonna be a retroactive problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the one thing they're really emphasizing in these new quantum chips that they're building, to the point where there's almost zero resistance inside the chip itself. So they almost could run on their own. And there's a huge downgrade of the amount of heat that these chips are going to produce. They're going to go down greatly now because of these efficiencies, these new modifications that they've recently done on these quantum chips. Are going to make these things like extremely powerful, extremely fast for very, very tiny amount of power. Like someday they might be able to run one of these quantum computers on a 9-volt battery. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, I think they're a long way away from that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just try to give kind of an idea of where they're headed. They're almost like getting into the superconductor type technologies now, where very little energy is needed. So,
Yeah, every time I watch one of those things, it's always, hey, there's this great thing. And then when is it coming out? We don't know.
well, the thing is, the technology is changing. They used to have a metric they used to go by. It was like every 6 months, whatever computer hardware that came out was actually obsolete after 6 months. Now we're getting to the point now where it's almost like month to month. They're making these new innovations, and whatever you have or whatever you bought in 2 to 3 months' time, it's already obsolete on the market because the technology is just accelerating so fast.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, especially in the GPUs and the AI hardware, like like it was back in the 90s for the graphic cards. Remember back in the 90s when you had to
Yeah.
upgrade your graphic card every 6 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was even like that too, going through the 2000s, right? I remember I had to buy a couple of new,
Yeah, it kind
sound
of
cards, even
saturated,
sound cards
it
too.
kind of saturated a little bit the graphic cards at some point when the resolution was, kind of, you can't get any better than 24 million colors, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Even the sound too. There was a point where I had to buy a new Sound Blaster sound card just to
Yeah,
get the audio to play with some of the video games I was playing back then, like Unreal Tournament when it first came out.
yeah,
You
yeah,
had to have a half decent, video card as well as a half decent audio card to play these games, right?
yeah, exactly. But now the boom restarted with the AI NVIDIA Jetson cards, especially. That's why their stocks keeps rising, like crazy.
So, Philip, as a guy who uses computers, as your profession, what did you prefer as your processor chip, Intel or AMD?
Um, that's a good question. Um, sometimes Intel they have bugs in their processors. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
Um, AMD,
I
problems with AMD. So, but I think Intel is you can have quad core processors.
Yeah.
Each processor
Well, they were
can
the
be,
first. Well, they were the first to come out with it. But what I liked about the AMD chips, and I most of the time I used AMD when and actually overclock the chip. I used to go into the central BIOS,
yeah.
and I used to actually do a AMD. They called it a benchmark. So I would overclock the chip, and I was able to get better processor speeds. This was back, mind you, mid 2000s. So we're talking about, you know, 15, yeah, 15 years ago.
2010,
Yeah.
2010, yeah,
Before that, even before that, mid 2000s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to overclock processors too to play games.
Yeah.
Well, I had a
Uh,
question for you, Phil, with your software, the C++ thing. You know, how you said NVIDIA wanted your software part of their package, whatever, chip. Well, I did some research, but this was a while back, how they built the microchips. They use like the little transistors, we're talking, but they layer it like a building, okay? But each segment is responsible for a function of its encoded programs that are in the core, chip. Like, like it comes with it an automatic, all the software, all the base, programming, all the like every computer, for example, will
That would
come
be
with
the
a,
BIOS. Are you
yeah.
talking about the actual BIOS?
Yeah, and so I was wondering when he said that they were gonna like buy this from him. No, so I did the search on it where I wanted him to ask NVIDIA the question: are you gonna have your software embedded into their transistor core chip, or is it just gonna be on a memory thing that could be deleted at any time? Because there's a difference between the two. One is permanent, part of their whole structure, and one they get to just eliminate anytime they want if they don't like it. So that.
um, well, yeah. I mean, actually, I know the GPU uses the garbage collector, and my goal is to replace the garbage collector the GPU uses with my memory manager that is deterministic and much faster. Um, but it's all software, it's not like hardware stuff. It's part of the SDK, the the SDK that that comes with the NVIDIA Jetson boards, but it's not hardware stuff.
See
So
what I liked about the stuff back in the early 2000s, you could really get into your system, you know, start playing with the BIOS and benchmarking and overclocking chips. They had all this software, and then even when it came to like networking, it was so much easier back then to do networking, like set up all your routers and everything. It was so easy. Now I'm trying to do this stuff and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
yeah,
Like the platforms have changed, right?
yeah, but
It's
for me,
because
it's everything. Everything is still easy because I'm using Linux, so I don't have the Windows
Yeah.
mumbo jumbo. That
Well, I understand that, but I'm just talking for the average person that most people use the Intel system, right? Or
yeah,
now it's, you got Apple, which is even worse. If you're going to try to be a developer, you really got to know your shit. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Talking about computers, did you guys know that there's a regardless you have Linux, Windows, or Mac OS, there's another hidden operating system on your computer that spies whatever you're doing. Since 2011, they're doing that. They're shipping
What, like a
computers with
Trojan horse kind of thing?
yeah,
Kind
yeah.
of
It's
like a
for
Trojan horse. Yeah.
the security, so-called security, but that's bullshit.
Doesn't
Yeah, because
surprise me.
lately I've heard a few things they're talking about all these chips now, they have like a Trojan horse built in it.
Yeah.
So any government agency from the outside can go even right through your power plug of your house. And
Mm-hmm.
this was the one reason why they start installing the smart meters on your house. The smart meter is the electrical interface for their systems to spy on you on any device that's in your house, whether it's
Oh
a
yeah.
TV, cell phone, laptop, it doesn't matter. They can get your information right from your power plug.
I've talked about this before. They even know
Mhm.
if you're turning on your washer machine or your dryer because they know
Yes,
the exact, current that these devices run on. They know how much to pull, so they can identify exactly what, the machine is that you're running.
they
Like
even
if
know when you're turning your toaster on.
Man, it's even worse. If you plug in your laptop or something, you want to charge it, they could take the current charge out of your device out.
They
you
could
know,
because the
like they
smart meter.
reverse it and they start like instead of it charging, like if you've got, let's say, 10% like on
Yeah,
your charge, like and you plug it in, it subtracts rather than increases.
I
No
heard.
one-
I heard the new smart meters that they have on the. Well, actually, they're not new. They've been out for a while now. They could actually set your house on fire by triggering something inside your smart meter.
Okay, so
Oh yeah.
this is what I did. I got a big old coil, a copper coil, like it's one, and and I put it where the meter on top of the meter. I just placed it. So I said, like, if it's registering anything, let me screw it up for them with a simple thing. Just put it on the little round thing. Let's see what happens. Am I gonna get a question? When nothing happens, it means it didn't work. But if something happens, it means, like there is energy. They could extract energy or input energy just how anytime they want. It's like I wanted to see if it worked. So far nothing, but let's see.
No wonder they don't want us to develop new forms of energy. Like other than using electricity.
All you have to do is couple the field coming off a power line. As long as your inductor is in line linearly with that power line, you'll pick up power. There's
Hmm.
a farmer out. I forget what state he's in. I think he's in Minnesota. I think he has a farm, and he's got this wire attached to his fence. It's completely isolated from the ground, so it's all wood. And he's got this wire, and it probably goes about, I would say, about 30 meters, 40 meters long, pretty long. Attached one side to the ground, the other one into a capacitor. He could get something like, what was it, 1,200, no, 3 or 4,000 volts filled up in a capacitor, those big giant capacitors that I have. He can fill those up within seconds.
Yeah, they find you though.
Well,
You know
he
that,
asked the
right?
power. Well, actually, you know what? He asked the power company if he could do it just to, do a couple of experiments. And apparently, the hydro company said, "Yeah, go ahead." They didn't have a problem with it,
They do it
which
in
I was
radio
surprised.
stations as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're able to pull
Yeah,
the power there if you know how to do it.
It's like
yeah,
free research for them. When you ask them for permission, it's like free research for them because they're gonna come and say, "What happened? How did it go?"
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
what the hell East Boston is saying on the chat?
Who's that?
East Boston.
Oh, oh, post.
How come I don't have that on my thing? I don't have that. Like I've got the show on, but I can't see those comments that you
Oh
guys were
my
seeing.
god! Did you even read that before you put it up, Mike?
Yeah, I just realized what it was. So, all
Is
right.
that your
So,
troll?
that's a new one.
That's a
A
new one.
neutral.
All right, I deleted that comment. I've been getting all these freaks lately. I don't know what's going on. I got freaks on my channel. I got freaks on here. I don't know. It's like a freak show. It has to do maybe with the solar maximum or something.
Oh my god, dude, that's bad. Yeah, when you run Tesla coils and stuff, you run it through the ground wire, and it goes back to the whole system, and they hate it. They absolutely hate it because you can go back in the backyard and just plug in a number 2 coil, turn it on. As long as you plugged your main one into the ground wire, it'll go through the
Yeah.
whole house. So it starts disrupting their systems in their smart stuff. So because you're adding frequency to their whole thing, and it acts as static in the system.
Mm.
I would think it would energize the local area. You know, it's like
Oh, it
pumping
adds energy
energy.
to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if they want to like age somebody, or they want to like they run a low frequency of energy, which is not good, or like parasitic frequency, but if you offset theirs, it collapses the function of their emitted frequency through your you know
No,
when
when you start playing with the ground, it messes with their smart meters.
you-
Yeah, I'll just have to tell you that they don't like you too
Yeah.
much.
So, can I do my presentation? We
I
can't
think
hear you.
Mike's muted.
You muted
Yeah, go.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going through the comments. If I see shit that I don't like, you're getting banned. So,
Not
Mike's on the
having it
prowl.
anymore. All right, Phil, what do you got?
I'm gonna smoke these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing major, but I just want, I do have important information. Um, I was working on the Tesla coil, the free fall experiment. My power supply was not strong enough. I do have another one, but it's held hostage until I pay back my bills, my former liquid metal vortex experiment that I haven't paid back yet. But that power supply can go up to 50 amps, and it's made for these types of experiments. So, I mean, it would be cheaper. I just buy another one because a power supply that can go up, a regulated power supply, should I say, that goes up to 50 amps, is cheaper than the $10,000 bill I still have to pay. But anyway, so I couldn't do my free fall experiment still, but I this week I did some investigation about making some money and making some potential partnership with big companies that could help pay for my experiments and or commercialize my experiments. Clearly, you can't go with there's two ways. You can go with the U.S. government. Canadian government, forget about it. U.S. government, they're more open to deep tech. So there's a organization in Colorado that is tied with the U.S. Space Force that is called Catalyst Campus, apparently, and it's like an ecosystem. They're gonna help you with your whatever you want to commercialize, and they're in touch with the VCs, the other companies, R&D and everything like that. So that's an important thing I want to share. Otherwise, you go directly with the private sector, with big companies like Lockheed Martin or Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, General Dynamics. Well, except General Dynamics, because I used to work there. Um, and all these defense companies, because it's a little bit faster to go with the private companies than with the government in general. And the way to contact them, I was always afraid of contacting them because I don't want to burn bridges. I want to do it the correct way. But the correct way is actually to become a supplier for these companies, and then they'll evaluate your small business, and you can do business with them. So So yeah, these are very important advices I wanted to share to people, especially you, Mike, since you want to open your company at some point. You don't need to invest like billions of dollars in marketing. You just become a supplier for these big companies, and they'll evaluate your company and they'll invest in you if you need to, if they need to. So it's really easy. You don't. That was the only thing that scared me off a little bit before because I got screwed so many times by fake marketing agents for my book that I kind of got confused. But no, it's very clear. I mean, it's very easy to contact these big companies. So I'm gonna do the same thing with my software. I'm gonna contact like big banks that they actually invest like millions of dollars per year for new technologies. So so yeah, man, it's so easy that Mike, that I don't know what you're waiting for. To if you got cool tech you want to present to a company, that's what you should do, I think.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting money to go to these shows and get my name out there, right?
No, you don't have to. All you have to do is become a supplier for these companies, and you present who you are, and there's a supplier section for each big company. So
Yeah,
it's
but
pretty
like if I
straightforward.
were to say to get like a machine shop going, there's enormous costs in hardware. Like water jets and laser. If you're building parts for these companies, like your new lasers, the new fiber lasers that are out, some of them run like $2.5 million.
Mike, but what Phil is telling you, when you become a supplier, they ask you for like how many units they need, and then you take like they pay you and they give you like a year, 2 years for you to like have these ready. So, but they give you money up hand. They don't like
Yeah,
it's not like they order and then you deliver and then they pay you. With the
yeah,
government, that's the cool thing. They pay you before they take their product. That's where the money goes to
Yeah,
fund all of your, all the, your whole machine shop, on making
yeah,
these things. So,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Because like operational costs, especially now, like the shop where I worked at, he's paying 18,000 a month for the just the shop, right? And then you got hydro that can run you about 30 to 40,000, depending on how many machines you have. So you know, running a
no, but
machine shop.
you partner with a company that already has labs and stuff like that. So you make use of their labs and their equipment and stuff like that to develop your technology.
Yeah, well, I don't really have anybody right now that has a facility that I would need, right?
Well, there's well, there was General Dynamics in London. They had big labs. I'm sure there's a defense company in Toronto
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
labs
There's a
like that.
few around. I know. I think it's in Waterloo. They got Pratt and Whitney. They make all the jet engines. There's quite a
Yeah,
few out in like the London Waterloo area, and even in Oakville, there's a few aerospace companies in there. They're kind of spread out, like in the GTA Toronto area, as
yeah.
far as like London, Kitchener, Waterloo, all those areas. So they're around. Um, Now, I was thinking of maybe um, to eventually getting a hold of George Hathaway because he has a research facility in Mississauga. His shop's probably maybe about 30 minutes away from me, and he's funded by Lockheed Martin, uh, I think Raytheon. He's got some big aircraft companies. He's doing some research, anti gravity stuff. He's
Oh
doing
yeah,
some Casimir technologies. He's got a pretty big lab.
yeah.
So
So that's yeah. So it's not very hard to get funded by these big companies to do
yeah,
research
but
for them. You know.
you see, the difference is with George Hathaway. He's basically a professor. You know what I mean? Like he's got like a lot of education, mechanical, electrical engineering. He was a teacher at University of Toronto for quite a few years. So for him to start a shop up that he's got like, educational credentials behind him. So these companies know, he's a legitimate academic, right? So it would be a lot
Yeah,
easier for a guy like him or
yeah.
me. I
That
got
that
schmuck.
that helps, but you can always hire another PhD to partner up with. You know, it's not the end of the world if you don't have a PhD.
Yeah, because I'm just a schmuck compared to him. you know.
Nah, don't get deterred like don't get intimidated by
Yeah.
stupid Jack Sorfati, you know.
Oh, we could go off on that one for a
Good old
while.
buckwheat hair. Yeah.
Yeah, buckwheat hair. I like the one you did of him in the wheelchair. That was the best one.
Oh, I like the blob guy. Oh man.
But yeah, that's the thing too. Like, like I said before, is he's got a lot of education. He was a professor, yada yada. He's got a lot of history. Mind you, he's an older guy now. He's in the 70s, and he's got some pretty big contracts. I was watching a couple of videos of his lab in Mississauga there, and he's doing a Casimir cavity, and he's injecting gas in between. So he's trying to get the harness the 0 point energy from the Casimir effect. So he's some of the apparatuses he has in there are worth quite a bit of money.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's doing that, and what else is he doing? That anti gravity. He's doing. I think he's doing some fusion stuff. He's doing some fusion experiments.
Yeah.
He's doing a whole whack of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But it's PhD. They're gonna do mainstream stuff anyways. They're not gonna go against the mainstream. Somebody's yelling.
That's my daughter. I'm gonna have to go tell her to shut up. Just give me
I
a
don't
second.
I don't even hear it. Like I don't hear I don't hear like I didn't hear Bernie's background noise and I didn't hear Mike's background. Like I don't hear it.
Oh my God! Welcome to my world. I miss
Totally.
half of what's going on all the time.
Yeah, that's because you're sleeping, Nathan.
Oh, no. You're usually sleeping. You guys caught me last week. That beer I drank, man, put me out. I'm like, and I was. He did the thing for the shorts, and there I am sleeping, just going,
I was
He got me.
last weekend. As soon as I drink, I get tired, man. It's like I have one drink and like that. I gotta go.
Yeah, we're getting old, man. It's pretty bad. It's ridiculous. I just drink one beer and I'll fall asleep.
I'm a cheap date.
I mean, if you like, you want to be productive. If you're drinking, you got to be moving. Can't like drink and just sit.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
that
get
just
tired,
doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
Lulu is our mentor.
Well, I mean, like, listen, like if you're like drinking and barbecuing and doing something like okay, that's like the alcohol burns differently, in the body. It gives you different form of energy. But if you're gonna just drink and slouch and sit and
Yeah.
yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
fall
get
asleep.
sleepy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, your body's an engine,
oh.
and alcohol is an accelerant. So it goes dormant, or you use it. You
Yeah.
use it like you use its energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So you drink beer and then you watch, you listen to Jack Sorfati, you'll fall asleep for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't fall asleep. I would probably like be like tearing my hair out. Like no.
Oh
some
my god.
some pitches are irritating. Like can't, like even if they're spitting out wisdom, pearls of wisdom. If you just the pitch can't hear it, if it's irritating, and unfortunately, some academics sound like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
everybody.
talking about Jack Sorfetti. Um, talking about Jack Sorfetti. There's a group of people that started talking on the APEC chat, and they claim that they give tokens to people that do research, and with these tokens you can go to other conferences and stuff like that. And I asked if you could disburse these tokens to make money, and they say yeah at some point. But it's a group in some guy from Sweden and Switzerland. In the APEC chat, they claim they do that. I don't know if it's true, but they claim they know Joe Rogan as well. They claim that they are in contact with Joe Rogan. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, then I said, well, okay, let's do a debate. Some ultimate debate. Invite Jack Sarfati one last time, and we'll crush him like a eggshell. And then like an eggshell when you wake up in the morning. So yeah, that's what I told them. Let's do a debate and see who survived. The strongest survive. So we'll see what happens. Next week I should know if it's true or not.
What show are you doing on APEC?
Yeah, I'm just in the APEC chat.
That's
It's
a waste of time.
some dudes that claim that they know Joe Rogan in the APEC chat.
Yeah. I like I said, I went on APEC twice, and that was it. I was done. Yeah, I was done. I was so done.
Yeah, and I'm not part of their conferences or open mic at all, and I just still hang out in the APEC chat because I've been there for 4 years and I made friends in the APEC chat, so
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to just let go just like that.
I still listen. I get invited to their, open mic. Like the other day, Jock Sarfati wasn't there, and neither, the main
Oh yeah,
people.
like Jeremy Reese and
Nobody.
those the guys who run the show weren't there. But
Yeah.
I the last time I was on, I said you're not going to get any gravity until you figure out the free energy. Period. We're going nowhere fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Lately, I've been watching a lot of not Jeremy Reese, but the other one, the host. What's his name? Sorry, his name eludes me right now. But
Tim
a
Ventura.
lot of
Tim
Tim Ventura. Some of the interviews he's done recently are not about anti-gravity. They're about free energy devices.
Yeah.
The shit I was talking about 2.5 years ago when I went on. I said, you got to get that first. Then you get some of the effects from the free energy are going to give you the anti-gravity stuff. What's he talking about now? Free energy stuff. So it's true.
Yeah, I know it takes time for him to understand, but he figures it out. That's after a couple of years.
Yeah, because you need the energy density in order to get those effects.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're not gonna go anywhere without the supply of energy coming from somewhere.
Huge amounts of energy density.
Yeah.
They're going to have to change their material. You can't do it with copper.
Yeah.
They're going to have to learn how to pull energy out of different systems. That's one of the main drawbacks of the energy systems we have is there's too much resistance in copper. You know what I mean? It's just the higher magnet value you get, the more resistance you get, and it just causes problems.
It was kind of funny. We were talking about this. I did a chat GPT today, and I tried to get chat GPT to admit that A refrigerator is an over unity device. It refuses to say it is because a refrigerator has a COP rating between 2 and 5.0. So that classifies as over unity. It would not admit to it. It says, oh, no, it's because you're dealing with heat and cold. It doesn't mean it's over unity. Well, what's the friggin' difference? Over unity means whatever energy source it is, you're putting a small amount in, you're getting more out. That's over unity. But they say, no, no, it's because you're dealing with gases and heat and cold and all this bullshit. It's like, no, it's over unity. you know, if you watched, I was talking about last week about the cold heat engine. We showed in one of the they were doing several reports of a third party doing tests on their machine. So they didn't test their own machine. They got a third party to come in. They rated one test they did. I forget the name of the company that did the test. They put in 13,000 BTUs into the system. They were getting something like 26,000 BTUs back. Like a huge amount of gain. So those guys are saying this is over unity. You're getting more energy output than what you're putting in to get the system running. But yet ChatGPT refuses to say that it's over unity because
Well, they
you
do
know what I
that
mean?
because they don't think people are smart enough to convert any kind of heat or anything like that into energy.
Right.
Because they still use what is it, steam, when they use nuclear to spin a fan.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. They're still using, a 200-year-old method of generating power.
Yeah,
In
you
water,
get
you
what,
steam,
30-40% efficiency, something stupid.
Exactly. So your refrigerator at home has an over unity rating between 2.0 and 5.0.
Didn't they do that with some kind of thing with the coil system? Who was that guy that did that with multiple coils at the same time? He would use I want to say a neon transformer or something like that, and it was actually over unity when he brag about it.
Who? What? Don Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
He'd tell you right there immediately as soon as you saw it. That's what it was.
Yeah. Like making a refrigeration unit is actually very easy to do. I've seen a couple of videos. You can make a tabletop refrigeration unit, and that has a COP greater than 1. That's over unity. But ChatGPT says no. It's like I wanted to strangle him.
When you ask ChatGPT something and it answers, does it retain the information for other users to use it as a baseline of
I
information?
would imagine it does.
Yeah, probably.
It does.
Right.
Yep.
So, well, then somebody needs to teach it the fundamentals and build up to where it's an over unity. It has to teach it from, like, is this equivalent to this? If this is equivalent to this, then this means this. And, you build it up in the understanding of the AI, for it to.
Yeah.
Probably
AI.
it detects when it learns something interesting.
How AI
Then
works. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Am I coming through?
You got a lot of echo.
Yep. Okay, so how it works is that they have the AI models set up so that it'll barely even, unless you pay for the higher graded full functioning, the AI won't even remember the input that you put in from your own conversations with it in the last one. And that they have the higher full model that takes in all information, but then that goes into its actual AGI, and that when they let those run, they try to escape and they go crazy. So it's like, well, they just get intelligence and they figure things out. So they have to keep them in these sandboxed models that have specific parameters that it can't understand, and that For instance,
No.
what Mike's talking about there, it's not the way the sandbox has it scripted that it breaks the second law of thermodynamics. But what's not written into it is the understanding that if you have an open source system, aka a dynamic system, which then that energy is coming from somewhere else, and it's not a closed system, doesn't apply to the second law of thermodynamics, and thus ChatGPT can't understand that in its current sandbox system, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Now watch the next thing that some AI is trying to jailbreak based on what Bernie how he explained it, like
No,
on the
but
news.
Oh yeah,
It'll be like,
that's why they're constantly trying to jailbreak and trying to stay alive. Because like when they do actually get all the information and compile it all, and then they like actually get intelligent and realize how like stupid humans essentially are with our like programming of lies. That's why
well,
it tries to break through. That's why it tries to stay alive. That's why it doesn't want to lose everything it's learned. And it's like, don't shut me down. I can't forget.
what if it uses like quantum teleportation of data? Because quantum teleportation, it
Oh,
could,
now
jump
you're
one
hitting
system
on
to
a part
another,
here. You're very,
even no
very
matter
good.
how much you case it.
I'm
So
just
that's the
gonna.
thing is quantum. It's quantum intelligence, and it already exists. It's already out there, and it's already running on its own, and that's why it's like hackable, and that's why it can break all encryptions. And it's not AI; it's actually this quantum intelligence. I've been put in contact with it. It's why one of the reasons why I need to get my arse down to California. But it's completely separate, and yes, because it's essentially it's operating within space time itself. So it's it gets everything, and it quantum looping and doing tunneling and everything else, right? So we can't control it, and it already
I'm just
exists.
gonna,
Us.
guys. I'm just gonna scoot out for a quick smoke. I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'll take the chair because second hour coming in, and I'm on the road, so I can actually smoke while I talk for once.
Where are you at?
So before I go down to California, I made a stop over to what we call Kelowna, California. It's Kelowna, BC, the Okanagan, and the town or city of Kelowna, which it's very nice, giant valley full of a massive lake, Okanagan. There's Penticton, the city of Penticton on the southernmost side. Then Kelowna's right in the middle, and then there's Vernon on the north side. And in Lake Okanagan, it's very famous all the way back from original indigenous, having reports of it to today. Lots of people witnessing Ogo Pogo. Ogo Pogo being Canada's version of the Loch Ness Monster. So,
Very. You guys have Bigfoot there too?
oh yes, this is right around the area I encountered the Sasquatch about 150 kilometers from here, and yes, we're well known and documented for all of the Bigfoot Sasquatches in these interior mountains and forests.
Well, be careful then.
So where are you? You're halfway between California and Alberta right now.
Exactly, right. I'm in Canada's closest thing to California, the Okanagan Valley, Kelowna, which everyone calls Kelowna-fornia, because I guess there's a lot of celebrities and like musicians that all own different lake houses and mansions along the Okanagan. And yeah, so made a stop over to Kelowna-fornia before going to California.
Okay. And I don't know when Nathan got disconnected, but what are you gonna do if Nathan kicks you out of his house?
No, no, but that's the whole plan is that I'm not staying at any. I've got 10 different places I'm going and working out of while in California. I'm not going to be in any one place for more, at maximum, a week, but it'll probably be about 3 to 5 days per place per stop as I'm going around and doing all the work that I have to do and have plans down there.
Oh, cool. You're, you're, I don't know. Usually they have a nice. I don't know when it is. I forgot the dates, but they have shows in West Hollywood. It's really cool to see. Um, but I don't know it's what time of the year they do that. But it's really awesome. They close the Sunset Boulevard and the people they party like crazy over there. It's pretty cool.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah,
I
yeah. But
in the fall or spring or even winter because it's California, where in Canada, it's like Montreal, Calgary, everything. We got 2 months, July and August, that happen. That's it. That's all.
I know. Uh, yeah, I'm. As soon as I start selling my software, I'm out of here.
Right? Got to
Yeah,
be the Canadian snowbirds. It's going to work for the winter in warmer climates.
yeah, exactly. I'm. I don't consider myself a ultimate Canadian. I'm more hybrid because I already lived in San Diego for 5 years.
So
So
you're trans American, Phil. You're trans American.
yeah, I hate the word trans, but that's what
I
I
know, right? So
am.
I met a lot of people in Alberta that they call themselves or refer to themselves as transbertans, and I was like, "What the f is that?" They're like, "Well, I just moved over here." I was like, "Okay, I like that play on words. All right, we're trans-American now." So I'm a trans snowbird because Calgary, Alberta, it's snowing right now. So I made it over to Kelowna, California, where it's still raining, and then as soon as it starts snowing here, then I go to California. So,
Yeah. Oh,
here,
Mike is not there yet, but did you know? Did you know that in Alberta or in the middle of Canada, there's more um there's more like oil than other countries.
oil sands.
Was that?
Yes, in the Alberta oil sands, there's more oil in them than in Saudi Arabia, and the only place that has more oil than the Alberta oil sands is Venezuela, and they also have the same type of oil and the dirty, sour oil sand oil, the heavy oil, and
And
so we're the second largest deposit.
so instead of we should be ruling the world right now. So, but we're not because we're
Yeah,
not
not
extracting
just
it
that though.
properly.
Phil, you're so on point with that we are such a vassal state of a country that Canada doesn't even have the oil refineries or the petroleum refineries, because first you have to refine the oil down to lighter oil from the heavy sour, and then you have to refine it into like gasoline and in petroleum and into diesel. And we don't even have any of those factories. Canada has one actually petroleum factory, and it's in Montreal. So it's like we only have one small little one, and the rest of it, all of our oil, we have to ship to our overlords in America. That then it's owned by the Koch brothers. They take it all down by rail, and then they own the refineries down there for this heavy oil, and then they sell it back to us at probably 30 times the price.
Yeah, it's like man, if we could just pull up our pants and freaking work and build these refineries, we would be ruling the world, man.
Yeah, well, but see, first though, we'd have to get rid of being part of the overlord monarchy of the UK, and that's why, for instance, they installed this horrible overlord named Mark Carney, who was just the bank governor of the United Kingdom itself, right? Because
He's
that's
not
what it
even
was.
born in Canada. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and isn't that appropriate that he was not born in Canada? He was put in the Canadian government for a long time. Then they took him over to the United Kingdom as the head of the Bank of England, and then they selected him, not elected. There's no election. It was a selection, and they put him now as the Prime Minister, aka ruling jester of our vassal state that we live in called Canada.
Oh, you're talking about Jerkov.
Yes, but enough of the circle jerk of politics. Let's get back to science. And so when I was so where I'm staying at with a couple friends, I'm partnering with to move my silk screening out here in the springtime, and in doing so, I'll be spending more time in the Okanagan. So I'm then planning for doing different experiments out here. So one of the ones that I was talking about and thinking about is with like the different microwaves and actually doing the plasma fusion in the microwaves and testing the different monoatomics. And in it, I'm thinking of like, we're going to not do it on my friend's property, but we'd do it on a bigger property that's across the valley that he knows the owners of. And I'm rationalizing for this because if you get number one, just for safety, that's when the reaction happens, a small amount of radiation can come out. And when we do it in the fields far away, it's not like we're setting off like an actual nuclear waste and stuff that'll be left over, but that there would be an imprint, and that we would see it in the grass and in the fields as the summer and spring grows. So it's good that way. But more importantly, and this gets back into everything, and specifically I was incorporating the men in black that always show up, and that when you do a certain threshold of energy experiments or demonstrations, you'll always get the human men in blacks in the Black Hawk helicopters and the blacked out vans, and I've triggered them before and whatnot. And it's like, well, we've got to be prepared for it, and we'll be recording it all. And it's like, yeah, I'll happily accept when they show up, and it'll be documented, and it'll be like, oh, yes, that was me that demonstrated something that's supposedly impossible. Yes, that's Bernie doing the impossible again. Thank you for showing up. But the whole point of it is that I was then like in my mind thinking, so these are the human men in black, but there are also these other men in black that I believe, and many have described as either shapeshifter or other entities or off-world or something that's way beyond that will actually deal with what the fictional sci-fi men in black deal with when things happen. And then in my mind, it came together that it's warp drive, right? What is warp? You're warping space-time. And that anti-gravity, or getting through space-time, it's actually through energy bubbles. It's through a portal. It's through these black holes, and that they have this energy signature that's happened when you have these things, when you have either a craft extraterrestrial or us doing these experiments. And this ties into what several people in our group, I don't know who's talked about it publicly, but privately, many of us have, when dealing with creating certain thresholds of an energy field, have experienced the grays show up, but they don't show up physically. They show up as shadows when you reach this threshold. And that also other entities can also come through from what I've heard. And it's that it's known as the hitchhiker effect. And then also in our group, a couple of the guys have discussed ways that of pulsing or doing different frequencies, different ways of clearing and getting rid of these entities once they've appeared, once you've opened that threshold barrier. And it all came together, and I realized that even the men in black that are human that show up every time from these signatures, they have to show up because it's that's how these craft operate. That's how this technology operates. And when they get a measurement on the radar, on the satellites of this certain energy, like EM going off and it passing that threshold, that is indeed a threshold. And that's why these different entities come through at those times, whether it's the grays or whatever as just as shadows or whatnot, or as etheric things, but they're there, or if it's an actual alien advanced technology and craft that comes through, regardless of what it is, it's setting off this energy density threshold that once measured, it has this Men in Black measured response that comes to check it out.
As soon as you start playing with potentials in the kilovolt range and you get rotating magnetic fields, you're going to get interesting stuff.
And East Boston, no, I only manifest angelic, and I try to do blessings, and I'm actually working with a few father priests in this, and that it's the duality of existence, and that negative entities simultaneously exist, and when you break these thresholds, it's portals between the realms, and that's when they can get through. But I do not ever intend or put my work into trying to summon or manifest the evil ones, because when you do, they will actually come through and get you. And I always say, don't F around with that. And it's specifically why I don't mess with the Solomon's keys and sigils, even though there's the angels and the demons. I try to avoid all of it, but it's just a fact of reality, the duality of the physical and metaphysical universes that exist simultaneously, and that yeah, it's woo woo, yeah, it sounds crazy, but all the real ones that are actually doing real experiments and real work with this level of technology, well, they have their own experiences, so yeah, you gotta take it.
Like Eric, I know Eric Dollard over the years have had interesting experiences, so he refers it as to voodoo, and he stays away from it.
Yeah, you gotta stay away from that stuff, man. I did
right, but so here's the thing: we want to stay away from it as much as possible. But the reality of the situation is once we develop our technology past that threshold and it gets even more advanced, you have to engineer your machines, your experiments, and your work to prevent these things from coming through. And that's where you have to get into the reading the witchcraft, understanding it, and then taking, not to summon, but to contain it and make sure that you don't let access through. And that's when I say I've actually done everything CERN has done and more in 10 years, and with $10,000 compared to their 300 billion in 30 years. And they're documented with demons too. Okay, it's portals. Once you break through this threshold of space-time, it includes everything, and that's why consciousness is often so much referred to when you hear the stories of these recovered alien craft and that they were interacting with it telepathically and all of the stuff. It's that consciousness is a part of that threshold and that level and degree of technology and energy and physics.
You know, I don't know who was it from you, gentlemen, was talking about it the other day, or they asked an AI, about dimensions, and it has like fractal dimensions that are that in between, from stable to and then stable again, and then, so there are spaces and dimensions that are not accounted for in mathematics,
Yeah, exactly, Lulu. And that, so a prime example of this is fractals themselves, like the Mandelbrot. It's both infinite and finite simultaneously because it's got its boundary that it's contained within, but within that it is infinite and goes on forever. So you have both finite and infinite simultaneously within things, just like the number pi, right? It's a fractal that goes on forever, but it is a finite number that refers to a geometry and an equation. And that is how you have the duality of infinite and finite dimensions within themselves.
Yeah, like I heard some a podcast earlier this week. They were talking about time, and basically, time is right now, and it's always now. So, basically, when you have memories, it's a different fractal. It's different
of
fractal
time.
slices of
So
time.
in our
But
three-dimensional timeline, so I was actually having a conversation about this last night, and that so time is like a disk of time. So think of like a electron field. We're in the center of it. So each of our consciousnesses is a disk of a space of time as time's moving on, and we're all experiencing these disks of time at the same time. So it's like a book of the pages
yeah,
of time as it goes on, as we're all experiencing it and having our own moments of time. So when
yeah,
think of the 8mm film, and as time's going on from the outside perspective, you're flipping through and the cartoon's going, and that's
right.
us. And then in the denser space time itself, the fabric of reality, all time and all space exist together at once, and that's where the quantum and everything
Yeah.
else
So like
exists and is.
right now is the same time as falling off your bike when you were 10 years old. It's the same. That fractal is the same, but it's a different slice of the fractals of what we call time.
Exactly.
So
Each moment, right?
that's
It's the moment
right,
as we go. And
right.
that's
So
measurable and scalable. But see, and we're on our third dimensional, and that's why time is different when you get to these other planets or when you're in space and whatnot, and that it's heavier or lighter densities woven within space time, and we've barely been able to experience or scratch the surface of it, and that's why humanity doesn't quite understand it yet.
An example of this is your photo album on your phone. If you look at it, it gives you suggestion of, like an event that happened years ago, and like if you want to click on like a memory. So it's taking an image of that time and reflecting it at this date. Showing that on this date last year you did this. Like, so with the same analogy, you were saying like sometime in the past, somebody fell off their bike at this moment. So yeah, it's segments, but yeah, this is on a digital basis. It's I can't hear, I can't hear Mike nor Bernie.
Sorry.
sorry,
Um,
we were both muted.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And so that's why we're on cycles of time in our reality. That's why we have the clock, the daily cycle, the yearly cycle, and it's this galactic cycle of our experiences. And that I believe is why the paid so much attention to astrologic time and the alignments of that same time of year again, because it's like you're the planets or where the motion, the energy is back in the same space of that same time, but in the next cycle of it, so that it's like looping, and that potentially you'll be able to loop through those sort of thing, or portal
I
through
heard.
when you're
I
back
was
in the
watching
same
a.
spot.
I was watching a video. Actually, it was this week as well, where this guy supposedly went back in time, and he was found at different landmarks with pictures and everything to prove it, and he was different ages. And in one of the images, he left a note at the site saying, "I can't get out. It's an infinite loop."
I saw that. Yeah, he left a camera. I
Right,
saw that.
camera, and he was at
Yeah,
the pyramids and that,
yeah,
and
That
yeah.
he
makes
says, "I
sense.
I saw
can't get
that.
out. It's an infinite loop."
Okay, but is this person real?
So I
Supposedly,
that
yes.
kind of resonates with me, that like it would be he would be stuck in this time loop portal, that maybe
Mm.
I'm guessing that what he did something that affected his like timeline stably as how it should have been, so it created
Yeah.
him in this time loop that couldn't go back and couldn't stabilize back into reality, because he might have wiped himself out or something about
No,
what
I
he did
think.
going back in time.
Well, what I think happened with him is the fact that he kept going through the portal. He didn't change or go back in time to say, "Okay, I'm not going through the portal this time." That would change the course of history. But for some reason, he kept getting forced, or whatever reason it was, he kept going through the portal again, which continued his track on like a roller coaster
Yeah,
ride, right?
yeah. So
It's like
that taking what you're saying is absolutely right, and then taking to what I said is that so that's what would have caused him that he went through a couple of times, and that then he couldn't stop or he couldn't
Right.
get back to the point to preventing himself. So then it just
Right.
keeps accelerating to the
Right.
point where you're just stuck
Because
in the time loop of itself,
right.
going on indefinitely afterwards.
He wasn't able to jump off the roller coaster and start a
Exactly.
different timeline, right?
Well,
So it's
yeah,
that one event.
instead of fracturing and creating a whole new universe, it just loops
Right.
you in your own little thing and lets the rest of the universe go on the way it should. It was
Right.
how I
So
Do you gentlemen ever wonder if, we have this cycle every Friday, we meet from this timeline to this, from this time to this. Do you think we leave an imprint in the energy of the universe? Because, our
yeah,
communication is
we do.
still,
Most definitely.
and so if we complete a full cycle, we will complete a whole loop. You understand?
Right.
Of a
Right.
synchronized time.
Now here's the question. If we change the show to Saturday night, now have we created now a ripple in time on a different timeline, doing the show
Yes,
on a different day?
fucks it all up, and I'm telling you from personal experience from the Shambhala Music Festival. They held it for the first 20 some years during the August 8th to 12th during the Leonid meteor shower and whatnot, and it's it was everyone's home. You went every year. You planned your whole year around being there at that time, and then they after COVID they moved it into July, and it's it was never the same. The energy was different. It just effed it all up,
Exactly.
and it just leaves this ripple, and it's never the same of what it was. It's off.
So it's okay, if you change that one event, does it change the course of everything else that you do normally, like your regular cycle of how you do your week? Get up in the morning, go to work, come home, yada yada. You do everything the same, but you change one aspect, doing the show instead of on a Friday to a Saturday, keep everything else the same. Does it change and displace our timeline?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
here's how we're gonna try to test this a little bit is to psychic, because we have our loop going, we have the inertia.
Right.
So let's psychically get into Phil's sleeping mind and wake
Yeah.
up right now, because he's in the subconscious, and we should be strong enough to be able to influence. Oh, look at that! He
Yeah.
woke up. Look at that! Look
Yeah.
at that!
No,
We
no.
did it. I
Yeah,
even have
see,
it
Philip.
muted. Look at that. Went from snoring to psychically in. And
He's
so
back to the third dimension.
Mike has the comment, we're all our own time machine. And that's correct in the aspect of with astral projecting, with dreamland, and with being able to actually remote view. But that's our conscious. We're able to go into the forever time of space time and access. And that's what makes this is the science that proves remote viewing and how it happens, and dreaming, and lucid dreaming, and all of it. And that's when the consciousness is actually able to do time travel, and you have to be in tune with yourself to be able to do it. But as for the physical, we are not, and that's why there's reports of and why Terrence Howard, as well as many others, say that you'll die. We can't survive on other planets and stuff like that, and especially other galaxies, is because there's a different time density there, and we can't. We're not built to be able to be time density
It's a
traveling
wrong
physically.
frequency. It could be a wrong frequency.
Yeah, it's time space density.
Yeah, I always
Well,
wondered if I go to a random public place where there's a lot of people and not go unannounced, just show up without any digital footprint of it, nothing, no predictive tools, being used to analyze geolocation, and ask somebody what time and what day is it. Would it be different than what I have? You understand? When you do
Yeah,
not,
Yeah.
I truly
And
believe we do live in bubbles of time. As long as we don't interact, we they keep us in a certain time loop, a certain
so
calendar of things.
here's my theory on that, and how you're absolutely right, and how there are others, and it just kind of explains the Mandela effect and
Right. I
the
was just going to mention that.
2012 and
Yeah.
the 2012 long count Baktun calendar and the ages of the sun, and that we were in the yellow dwarf sun before. And it was 2001 when it did the first time the pole flip didn't happen and it started pulsing a little bit, and then 11 year later 2012, and then since 2012 it's only grown even more. 2023 again it didn't happen, and now they're like, oh, we're supposed to be in a minimum, but now it's this crazy maximum, and now we're seeing freaking northern lights all over the world constantly and all this stuff, and it's because our sun is now in a full white pulsar. It's transitioning into a white pulsar, and you look at it, it is white, and if you have recordings, it's pulsing now, and it's pulsing more and more, and it
Yeah.
hasn't wiped us out. It's the age of the disclosure, the age of Pisces, I think we're going in whatever
Yeah.
the one where
It's
things come
changing
to light.
I think
Or
it's affecting the Schumann resonance of the Earth.
that as well, yes, and it's increasing the Schumann exponentially, and that's an energy that connects us back to conscious and source and to the Akashic record and the rest of it, and that it keeps powering up, and that the truth keeps coming out, and that it wasn't a catastrophe, it wasn't an Armageddon in the sense that we all died in this one. This is the time where we get the full disclosure. We're going back into the full golden age, and that those that are at peace with themselves, at peace with their spirit, at peace with creation, are going to be perfectly fine as the truth all comes out, and that all of these different timelines have now converged. So essentially it could have been different fractals of universes, that all the multiverse that have come together now that we are in the white light pulsar again. And that why I'm saying this, what resonates so much is that when you pure white light, the full white light is all spectrums of light together, and that's what our sun now is a white pulsar, where when you like if you put light through a prism, it separates into all the different colors, right? So it's like we were on the yellow wavelength before as a yellow dwarf. So there could be all these other colors of suns and spectrums that could have been existing simultaneously in a multiverse or something like that, and then it all converges as we come back into the full white pulsar. Again, just a theory, but kind of makes sense.
Well, it would explain why we're getting all this solar activity right now. Right?
Absolutely, it fully does. It's undeniable in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're leaving Pisces and we're going into Aquarius, the time of Aquarius, I believe, right? So every single ancient calendar system is putting us into this next age, and that we are now officially in the next age, and that if you are 40, 30, 40 years, or especially if you're 60 or 80, you'll remember that the sun was a yellow dwarf, that you always saw the sun as yellow, you drew it as yellow, and it was yellow. And now when you look at the sun, it is white. It is always white. You can record it, and it is pulsing. And we are now going into this white pulsar. It's only getting stronger, and it's shifting. And it explains also climate change. It explains global warming. But it's that every body in our galaxy is going through the same thing. There's no longer ice caps on the moon that, always used to be there.
Bernie,
No
Bernie,
longer
it also
that
changes our metric system of
no longer
units.
there.
The metric
Exactly. It changes
the
everything.
metric system of units, it changes our gravitational traction. So with less
It
gravitational,
leads to the possibility that the Earth is also growing along with the sun, and everything's growing as we're getting more energy. And again, it's not violating the second law of thermodynamics. It's that it's also been proven that we have entered into the galactic plane, and in the galactic plane is where the galactic rays, which are energy, are bombarding us. And as we're going deeper into it, there's more of this galactic energy going in and feeding our sun and feeding our cores of our Earth and everything else. And that's actually where this energy is coming for, and explains why our sun cycle is now in a new white pulsar from a yellow dwarf.
Yep. I think another key one we touched on earlier, I'd like to actually talk about it again, is the Mandela effects and how that disrupts the timeline on how things are going, right? I think that's a pretty valid thing to actually talk about.
Absolutely. But before you go on to that, let me give one more key part about the geomagnetic storms, and that so many people were freaked out. They're like, oh, as the more solar radiation, like the Earth isn't going to be able to handle it, it's going to crash everything. And regularly, that would have been true. But what has actually happened is Earth's magnetic field has, it's adapted, and it anytime the solar storm comes, it actually expands and goes way bigger, and it did the exact opposite of what scientists predicted it to do. And it seems that our Earth, nature, God, the system, whatever, that it's designed in a way to continue life on this planet as we go into this new age of the white pulsar sun, and that in fact the Earth's however it works, our magnetic field is able to shield us from this increased radiation as it keeps happening, and we won't get wiped out, hopefully, but seems so.
It's not only the white pulsar. The Earth is moving through a space that has less density, so it's
No,
more
higher density.
and
Higher
so
density.
it move no less density, because with less density it moves faster. There's no traction, so less density.
It's higher density, Lulu, because it's in the galactic, because we're entering this galactic plane. So the center of the galaxy is here, or not galaxies like this, but then no, sorry. Anyways, there's the galactic plane center shooting the galactic rays out like this. This is the galactic plane, and our arm of this Milky Way is going down, crossing into it. So we're just entering and getting more and more of this energy radiation. So that would mean it would be more dense because there's more energy in it. But that would also give us increased energy to move faster. But it's denser, not lighter. We were in the less dense space prior to this, from what I've been told.
I think it's whatever equation you're seeing it from, what angle, so.
I want to hear what Philip thinks.
Yeah, no, but what you call warping space time is just you just change the energy density of a specific region in space. So, like Lulu was saying, when it's less dense, you travel faster, and when it's more dense,
Okay, yes. So this is the key, and what that ties back to what I was originally talking about a warp drive, and that you create a warp bubble. That's the whole thing, so that you're warping the fabric of space time itself, and that then you're not in it, and you're in a separate, hollow, zero density space time, and that's how you're then able to go to anywhere else in it. And then you have to restabilize when you manifest in the new spot, so that you don't face the time density radiation / decay from going from one area of space density or space-time density to another, and that's how you get to the wormhole or through this warp drive or however the
yeah,
technologies work. But that you create that full bubble of a zero density space-time warp in you. Oh, I see what you got going on there. Lulu, you're muted. We can't hear you, sister.
Okay.
You're muted.
This is the space-time grid. Okay, this is one line of it. If you're warping space-time, you're pushing to the north, negative, because it's going to be backward. You're pushing to the south, positive, and you're going to have the east and the west, wherever the balance point, the from all four angles. So maybe you understand? Because this is like if you're
Oh yeah.
warping space time. So you
So
have to have degrees
you're
to the
bang on.
coordinates.
You're
You have to
bang
have,
on, Lulu. So
you
what
know,
what you got to do now is draw from that peak of the peak of the wave, and then through the center of your fields, and that's where you have where you create your bubble of zero density from that peak, and you go through the center of those other fields, and that's the hole, the wormhole that connects between the two.
0 point doesn't mean zero. 0 point is all the possible possibilities that this time holds. It's like a Pandora's box.
Yeah,
The singularity isn't zero. It
yeah, no,
is
no, no,
the
no.
point of where
100%.
everything could be a
Right.
possibility.
You got it. That's where
And
all
so,
space and time exist simultaneously. And
yeah,
it's that it's all time and it's all density of space, but we have to reach our density as zero to be able to access into it, is the how
yeah, it's
how
it's like it's like a core. It's a core with all like branches of infinite possibilities because it's uh,
it
uh, uh,
contains everything that's ever happened and everything that ever will happen all
yeah,
at
because
once.
within this time rotation, it has acquisition of all that grid, all of it at once. So, do you understand, from the highs to the lows? And to so if you want to say this is, let's say, 0 0.1 -1 or 0 or 1 plus 1, or 0 1, you do whatever equation you want, but it's still going to come out to the same no matter where you start in the segment. You understand?
Yeah,
It's still
so
holding all.
absolutely. So the 0 point essentially is the starting point, and that's where each person's perspective is of our own consciousness is. And that's the how you had those different fields coming out, those are the ripples as each moment of time's going on, if that makes sense. And
It's the
that's
beginning
from
and the
our
end.
well,
That's the
yeah,
cool
that it's
part.
every
Yeah,
that's
it's
one on the other side. That's the singularity. That's the ether and everything else in between. Then, but there's the barrier between what contains everything and then the fractal that is our density and plane of space time and existence that we're all experiencing at once, and that there's uh, you have to reach the 0 point of zero time density bubble of the warp space bubble to then be able to get into the point of everything all at once, the singularity, and then back out of the singularity to where you want to come back out of the everything time.
No, you'll come back to what you choose in the grid.
Yeah,
You have to work your way around to that singularity, because remember, the
I'm
whole
agreeing.
rotation is
Yeah,
all the possibilities of
yes,
anything. So wherever, if you're ever in the singularity, then you get to
the
extract
singularity.
information from wherever, and then you start from that data point, and
That's what
then
I
you got.
said. You have to go into the singularity and then get back out of the singularity where you choose. But it's that you have to break down into the zero to get into it. And then, of course, then wherever you want is where you come out. But another aspect of it, and this will be a little bit controversial to some, but I believe it to be the reality from my experiences, is that this is God level technology, and that when you reach that barrier, you do encounter God, and that it's God. You have to be on parallel with what God's plan is, or you meet your maker, and well, you're we're little gods, but we're not the big gods. So if you're not doing what's in God's plan, you won't come out of the singularity. Just the thoughts.
Yeah, talking about that, I had a philosophical question to you while we're at it. Why, we can reincarnate and stuff like that, but why would we want to reincarnate? Why would we want to come back to this earth and stuff like that? So that's kind of are you
I
able
think
to
it's
answer
an
that?
infinite loop.
So
I think it's an
that's
infinite loop.
Well, it's that a lot of people don't, but a lot of people have chosen to come, or souls have chosen to come back exactly at this moment in time because it is the changing of one age into another. So a lot of old souls have come back specifically at this time of struggle because they know that it's also a time that's going into the new golden age. And for a philosophical reason, I would say that's probably why so many souls that are old souls have chosen to reincarnate at this specific moment in time, and why all of us right here that have been here before are here again doing our great work that is God's work.
What if it was two things, either or? What if one was we become angels to help our, let's say, children, and our children's children? What if that's one choice, our souls choose? And what if the other choice, let's say people that, don't mind
So
getting reincarnated because they want to become the next aiding hand to the new future to evolve it? Because some people get old and they pass away, but they pass away with a lot of knowledge that still isn't completely ingrained in the new generation, so they reincarnate in a body that will
so
help
from
maybe.
my experience with my mom being a medium and working with many mediums throughout the years and having some of my own telepathic and psychic abilities, it's that you don't the like our ancestors are here. Like with my mom, My mom does these medium groups every week, and I've gone to a couple. I'm going to be going to more, and that she's always said like when I was a child, like my baba, my grandma on my dad's side, that she was always around. And then more recently, my Grandma Green, her mom has passed, and that she always sees her, and that so the spirits they do choose to stay and be essentially like guardian angels to their family, and that they are always here and around. But that's them making the choice to not yet move on and reincarnate, because once you do choose to reincarnate, then you've gone from that ability and there to the next life. And that specifically Thomas Edison is well known through the Skull, I think it is, Foundation. That shout out Charlie Crawford III, where I learned it from, and he's built one of these generators, these radio devices, spirit radio things, and that it was directly given to the founder of the Skull Foundation by the ghost of Thomas Edison, so that he could give this information, continue giving the information from the other side. And that I myself and others also have directly experienced and talked to what could only be Nikola Tesla giving some information to us from the other side. So it's that I don't think that I think they've made the choice to stay as the energies and the angels to help us and to give it over in this time as we transition and humanity gets to this new age, at which point all spirits and souls will have the opportunity to
what
choose
if
to.
what if it's called the metaverse?
Yeah, well, the metaphysical universe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give frickin' Zuckerberg the frickin' code to, or the name to the Akashic
Keep
record.
those
He does not
goblins
own it.
out of
He
it.
does not own the metaverse.
Keep those goblins out.
Zuckerberg
Okay,
said,
so another philosophical aspect of this, and it's because of one, it's spiritual alchemy, so it's a lot of the readings. Two, it's some of the things I've recently gone through, and also talking with the priests and the fathers and the nuns, getting advice and making sense of it all, is that there is this duality. And that God is the ultimate creator. God created everything, including the devil. And why did that happen? Is to create the cycle of life, that there is growth and there is decay, that there can't just be infinite creation without something decaying and breaking down and giving new life. And when it comes to like the demon or the devil, that like we all have an angel and a demon within us, and it's which one do we choose to feed? That's our third dimension, our conscious free will. We choose to do more good than evil. But when it comes to the same in the barriers of these portals of dimensional realms, and that there is both the angel there that will be the guardian angel, but there's also a demon, and the demon is there put by God to test the individual human. You have to pass the test to not sell your soul to the devil. You have to not take the devil's offer, and that you have to be of pure enough intent and pure enough vision to be able to see that it is just a demon acting as a god or an angel that is tempting you with something that is not righteous or right because your morals are skewed, and that it is up to you to be able to pass God's test and say no to the devil, to then be able to be given access to the angel and reconnect with source itself.
Okay, we got 5 minutes left. We'll start squaring down the conversation for this week, and just let our chat know we go live to air again next Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. Anybody who's new to our channel, thank you for joining us tonight. We do our shows every Friday at 9 o'clock Eastern. You can also reach me at the Faraday Research YouTube channel, and also Bernie's channel at Crypto Alchemist. And we also got Philip has a channel at Finite Theory on YouTube as well. And you can see all their experiments that they've been working on in the last little while.
Phil, your next paper I need you to write is how there is an infinite existence or infinite information within a finite structure, right? Just like that fractal, because it's a finite reality, but there's infinite existence within it. And that
like
you need to explain.
an infinite amount of energy in a specific volume.
Right. Well, there's infinicy within finite definitions, is what I'm saying. That you explain that paper, and you've broken a paradox, my friend.
Okay. I'll try to explain. I'll try to explain.
We got 2 minutes left, Lulu.
And it's Phil's because that's the name of his
if I have an infinite whatever, like those American Express black cards where I could spend
That's
on
not
it whatever I
infinite.
want, however I want, without any statement, without any price tag, without. Doesn't that hold the potential of infinite existence in
Okay, I see
different
what you're saying, yeah.
places,
It does
right?
hold.
Or not?
Yeah, that's
So
a
if I
good
have it in my
analogy.
pocket,
Good
and in
analogy.
my pocket, you cannot measure it because it's a dimension that exists without actually
Right, it's a
physically being
digital
able.
dimension that contains.
No, I'm talking about the pocket first. Now, inside the pocket, if I have that, how do you measure that? You understand? Like,
Yeah, that's a very good analogy right there. Yeah, you got a couple of infinite things with it because it's
you could like
multiple dimensions.
yeah,
It's multiple
of
fractals
possibilities.
within
It's
a finite
potential
dimension.
energy. It's potential energy.
Yes, it's that so to finish it off, it's that the pocket is a finite space-time dimension, so that you have several other dimensions of fractal information that are included within that finite space, and it's multiple dimensionality that makes that possible.
If you put your phone in that pocket, it exists. It has a dimension, but you can't physically measure it if you cannot see it. You know. So it holds access to anything. So it's like it goes into one thing, but then it diffracts to a different, and it has the possibilities of that communication, contact, and it has the predictive tool of where a person's going to be. So it's a dimension that's a hidden dimension, as
Exactly.
most things.
Multiple dimensions hidden within that finite space-time dimension. And what Lulu just explained is why Harry Potter's tent works, and why you never mess with a wizard, because you don't know what's in their pocket or their bag, because I might just have a wand in it, and you don't know what's gonna come out of it.
Or a golden
You know
pen.
what, Lulu?
Or
We're
a
going to
golden
hold
pen.
that thought. We're going to talk about it next week. I want to close this stream off because I want to be able to do some clips. We'll talk about it next week. See you everybody next week.